Vancouver is starting to look like a good example of what life would look like under the provincial NDP in British Columbia. After all, Mayor Gregor Robertson was once an NDP MLA for Vancouver Fairview and actually resigned his seat to run under the Vision Vancouver banner. That's a municipal party in the city that's pretty much dedicated to eradicating the use of fossil fuels. Vancouver's mayor and council want the city to be the greenest in the world by 2020, and they'll stop at nothing to get there. That includes a natural gas ban on new buildings starting May 1st of this year and opposing pipeline projects like Trans Mountain. The BC Liberals are the only party promising to reverse the ban, and of course, council says it's not a ban because you can still use organically sourced renewable natural gas, and there's the option to use better insulation and thicker windows. But you can't use non-renewable natural gas, so nice try, but if you're not allowed to use a certain product, then what else would it be called? A ban is a ban. Mayor Robertson is a green energy freak, but the thing about his boycotts of pipelines and insistence on reducing fossil fuel usage are that they aren't very green or realistic at all. In fact, FortisBC, that province's natural gas supplier, says that it supplies about 900 customers with renewable natural gas, but doesn't have enough supply to accommodate its customer base. And you see, there's this little place called China, the biggest energy consumer in the world, where coal use is projected to increase by 19% over the next 5 years. But people like Gregor Robertson oppose pipelines, projects, and the very fuel, natural gas, that could reduce China's coal emissions by up to 50% and make way more of an impact than banning natural gas in Vancouver ever would. Switching over to natural gas from coal is what helped reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the United States, the second largest polluter in the world. Here's a pie chart of global emissions. Notice that China is the biggest polluter at 23%, and there's us at 2%. Who's going to benefit more? Vancouver from a natural gas ban, or China from bringing in LNG shipments to replace their coal usage? And with the benefits to the Canadian economy, it's really a no-brainer to get these projects up and running. And then there's the other issue of what's going to replace natural gas for Vancouverites. It will likely be hydro, but council won't endorse Site C, which will add more hydro to the grid to take on what I'm presuming will be an uptick in usage in Vancouver now that new builds can't use natural gas. So what's it going to be? Clean energy from Site C or LNG projects that will help reduce emissions for the world's largest polluter? Both are good options, but Vancouver City Council can't get their story straight, and they hide the facts from the public behind their green energy scare tactics. And we all know thicker windows and different insulation just aren't going to cut it in a Canadian winter. And not only is a natural gas ban not going to do much for the citizens of Vancouver in the way of emissions reductions, but it's going to cost them. FortisBC says that the average cost of the ban will run a family of four $1,500 yearly, and restaurants are bound to shut down because they rely so heavily on cheap natural gas. Robertson himself says that Vancouver is lucky to have a diversified economy, in part based on the service industry. So now he wants to kneecap that industry with a natural gas ban that will make these businesses shut their doors. Doesn't this all seem a little hypocritical and not well planned or thought out? Doesn't it seem like someone is lying? There's absolutely no good reason to ban natural gas in Vancouver. Well, we know from Vivian Krause's research that Gregor Robertson's campaign took in hundreds of thousands of dollars from Tides US and Tides Canada affiliated investment firms, public relations firms, and individuals. As you know, Tides has backed anti-oil campaigns in Canada, and Gregor Robertson was once the director of Tides Canada. So is Robertson's green energy preening about GHGs and the earth, or is it about abolishing the oil and gas industry in Canada for no good reason but to benefit politicians? His campaign seems to have taken in a lot of money from people that hate pipelines and oil and gas projects. Gregor Robertson was an NDP MLA, and they're all intertwined in a tangled web that's difficult to unravel on purpose. They're slippery fish when it comes to figuring out their real intentions. But we do know that they oppose pipelines and projects that would actually benefit British Columbians and Canadians and help in actually reducing GHGs globally by providing a cleaner source to the world's biggest emitter. But they won't tell you that because they're liars. They have their own plan. What other explanation could there be? Remember when Robertson wanted to end homelessness by 2015? That was a platform promise. Well, today Vancouver's homeless population is at record numbers, so screw human suffering and impose a natural gas ban and make everyone poorer, right? And you know what else? This kook blamed it on warmer weather. So if GHGs are causing rising temperatures, why isn't Robertson demanding that LNG be shipped to China? Robertson and his friends in the NDP want to make your life more expensive and not really do anything about their pet issue, climate change, at all. Some environmentalists. And make no mistake, Mayor Robertson's goals are also the goals of the BC NDP. Remember, Robertson wears his political stripe on his sleeve. He was and is one of them. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you oppose the natural gas ban in Vancouver, make sure to stop by badidea.ca and sign our petition to let Mayor Robertson know that you're against his ridiculous renewable city strategy.